Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcoming to our session on exploring DeFi and on-chain wallets and transactions. Today we will dive into the exciting world of decentralized finance, where innovation is reshaping traditional financial system. We will explore how on-chain wallets work, their role in securing the transactions, and why they are the heart of DeFi ecosystem. Let's get started. So our first guest is Joseph Lewis, is a cloud and Web3 architect and the founder of Skylark. As an educator and mentor in the Web3 space, he is dedicated to guiding others in the transformative field. When he is not shaping the future of technology, Joseph indulges in his passions for F1 racing, basketballs, and video games, an enemy bringing creativity and energy to all the aspects of his life. Please come forward, Joseph.
Everyone, good afternoon. My name is Joe Lewis, right? As Elizabeth mentioned, right? I'm a cloud Web3 architect. I've been in tech for 15 years, and most of that time has been spent working in cloud. Now I'm also working in um I've been working mostly in cloud, but now I'm also working in Web3. So I'll go ahead and take control of the screen, and then we'll get to discussing the slides. Okay. Let me go back. Okay, right here. Let's start here. So last week we talked about do you want me to share my screen instead?
Yes, please share your screen to continue. It will be more easier to control. Yeah.
Give me 1 second then. One second, I got to find my Canva screen that I had. Okay. Hope everybody can see my screen. So last time we talked about what is blockchain, right? We talked about different various areas in which blockchain can decentralize, right? From data and even to finance, right? Which is what we're going to talk more about today. So talking about finance, DeFi, right? It brings the ability for us to decentralize payments, right? Enabling peer-to-peer transactions without reliance on a bank or any third-party intermediaries. So what that also brings, which is at the bottom of the slide, is lower fees, right? Less middlemen means less extraction of value from your funds. And in addition, it also allows for financial inclusion, right? Because many different assets or more barriers or less barriers exist to onboard into financial ecosystems, right? It's there's a lot, especially here in the United States, there are a lot of things that are needed. For example, you can't buy a house or you can't rent at certain places without a certain amount of income. And this immediately shuts people out if they don't have a form of income or approved form of income in the way that the government sees fit. So financial inclusion is a big thing to consider for democratizing finance. Not only that, it's also helps with resisting censorship. So allowing you to transact with anyone without feeling that you might become under censorship or under scrutiny of the government. In addition to that, a lot of countries have, as you may have seen, they're starting to buy Bitcoin, and that's because DeFi is an opportunity to protect your funds today from inflation, right? As certain currencies, i.e., the US dollar, are currently debased. And why the debasement means that the value of that currency, that fiat currency, whether it's the dollar or the euro or any other currency for that exact, they are currently debased and currently losing value. And assets like Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies can help preserve value over time, or at least expose you to markets in which you can preserve your value over time. So all these together are opportunities that are gained when you think about DeFi, but it's also for the greater good of democratizing finance. So I'm going to talk about some of these solutions from most conservative to most aggressive. And then I'm going to also show a couple examples. So DeFi solutions, right? They range from staking all the way up to yield farming. And as you go up the scale, you can get more aggressive in how much opportunity there is, but also how much you can put at stake, right? Which that brings me to the first column, which is staking, right? So staking is similar to if you have a bank account in the traditional markets, it's equivalent to getting holding a CD, certificate deposit, or think about it as a savings account, right? But instead of earning minimal yield on your finances for letting the bank uh utilize your funds, you could earn a lot more or variable APY depending on the platform, right? So we have a couple of stable coins in there, USDC, USDT. The one in the middle is actually USD Luna, but that one is no longer around. But different stable coins exist for the purpose of stable coins exist for the purpose of keeping some stability within the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So for example, we still need dollars, we still need euros, we still need these type of stable coins that can provide safe haven for from the variable cryptocurrencies, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum. So this allows for different ecosystems to have some stable currency, which they can fall back towards or provide liquidity within their ecosystem. So stable coins are great for that. Not only that, if we think about the whole world being on chain, not everybody is here to trade, right? So different currencies like stable coins will also give people the ability to move between countries preferred means of a transfer in value without going back to fiat, right? So you could still interact with others in other countries in the preferred means of preferred currency without going back to fiat. Now, countries are also going to be considering what are known as CBDCs, which is central banking digital currencies. And a lot of countries are already starting to explore this, right? China, some countries in Africa, and some countries elsewhere are all starting to explore CBDCs. Even in Eastern Europe, there's some explorations around CBDCs. But overall, what these aim to be are central bank issued digital currencies, right? And they can still base themselves towards some of the fiat currency, but the difference is with stable coins, they're more privatized, and that gives it more opportunity for people to get in, whereas CBDCs will probably still be government controlled, right? So in the decentralized ecosystems, you would want to think about leveraging stable coins if you want to be able to have free reign of your assets and transact worldwide. So moving on, we have different project. We have still are talking about staking, but looking at staking from a non-stable coin perspective. That means staking coins that are very variable in price, like Solana, Aave, Ethereum. These prices go up and down. They're not stable like a US dollar uh or a euro on a stablecoin perspective. These are variable coins that their prices are always changing, but you can stake them and earn yield. We're also going to actually talk about, we have the founder of Project Pi, who's building a liquid staking platform, and he will talk about that. But if we move up the risk profile into the mid range, right? This is where we get into liquidity pool provisioning, in which you can take your funds and provide them to pools for liquidity purposes. So I mentioned earlier that ecosystems, DEXs, and different platforms need liquidity. You can provide liquidity, right, and earn yield. And that's the power of decentralized finance, right? When you think about it, these are roles that only the bank plays today. The bank and certain market makers play the liquid liquidity provision roles today, and you don't get to participate in that. However, with DeFi, you can provide liquidity if that's what you want to do. You can actually trade whatever you want to be able to do. You can be your own bank or your own market maker. So coming to the last space on the range here, we have platforms like that can do yield farming. So what yield farming is, as opposed to liquidity provisioning, it's more risky, where you are entering high staking pools for high rewards, right? And these often change very quick. The reward percentage often change, but it's for the sake of what it's called, which is farming yield. So depositing your tokens, locking them up, but also you can be careful because you might encounter impermanent loss And permanent loss is when the token price moves against you at which you had initially staked your funds at, and by the time you unstake, you have a certain amount of loss that you didn't account for at the beginning. There's also platforms that take this to the next level, like last cycle. There is Ohm and Time, and these are platforms that can almost allow you to restake, but at a more aggressive pace. So moving on, I'm going to start with a quick demo before we pass it off to Chris. So let's explore DeFi. I'm going to walk you through quickly through two popular platforms within the Base Ethereum ecosystem, right? And Base and Ethereum are two blockchains that are, well, Base is a layer 2 on Ethereum, and layer 1 Ethereum is a competitor, is also a blockchain that we talked about last week that allows for smart contracts, and layer 2 Base was built on top of that for faster speeds and cheaper transactions. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to Aerodrome right now, right? And as you can see, I'm connected here with my wallet address right here. And from here, an Aerodrome, I mentioned that it's built on Base. So it's the central trading and liquidity marketplace, meaning that you can trade tokens here, but you can also provide liquidity. So from the swap tab, you can trade in and out of tokens that are available. On the dashboard, you can see what pools and rewards you have earned so far. So on Aerodrome, they have what is known as a couple different rewards. You can earn rewards uh for for participating in pools, but in addition, you can earn rewards for holding a certain number of Aerodrome tokens. And then those number of Aerodrome tokens get you access to NFTs that then give you voting rights. And as you continue to vote, you can earn rewards. So Aerodrome is an example of a DeFi platform that gives you more value or more opportunity to participate in financial opportunities than a bank does. There's different roles that you can play, from voting on how the protocol evolves over time versus just providing liquidity for different pools to exist. So speaking of pools, here we have different pools in which you can provide liquidity, right? And you can see how much you can earn per year. 3.7 here for APR, and then 43.68, right? These require you to deposit a balance of USDC and Eero token to then participate. And that's what these two as well, they're telling you what the balance of the token is that you need to participate in this pool. You can look at a range of them, from stable assets, which means that you can stake your stable coins, right? So these, again, going back to the chart that I created, these are on the conservative side versus more volatile assets that are always changing in value on the more aggressive, more medium side. So I mentioned that you can vote here. So if you're holding certain if you're holding certain tokens and are staking them in liquidity pools, that gives you the ability to vote. And these are some of the pools that you can participate in from a voting perspective. and then earn Vero. And then these are some of the locks I mentioned you can do as well to enable to get the ability to vote. So moving on from here, let's go hopping over to Uniswap. So Uniswap is another platform. And I often use Uniswap to do exactly what it's called, which is swapping, right? So swapping from one currency to another. I can be able to mostly buy new cryptocurrencies on Uniswap if I just have the contract address. So for example, if I go to CoinMarketCap and I want to buy some I want to buy some Filecoin. Actually, I want to buy some Floki because I like the way it looks. I can come here, I can copy the contract address here, and then I can go to here and instead of searching for the token here, I can just put it here and that will bring up this here. And this allows you to swap tokens, right? You can swap some of your tokens in one value to another. And that's essentially also what I call as buying cryptocurrency. Other things that you can do on Uniswap includes looking at pools similar to Aerodrome. So you can see here the most incentivized pools currently, some of the most incentivized pools on Uniswap that in which you can lock funds up in, right? And you can see the total value locked. This is an important metric because it'd be more safer for you to participate in a pool that has a lot of liquidity locked, because that way, if you decide that you want to leave, you don't have to worry about imbalance because there is no liquidity for you to be able to get out. So I'm going to now hand it off to Chris, and he will be able to show you his platform and give you a demo and tell you more about himself. You can take over the share screen as well, Chris.
Hello, everyone. One, can you hear me? Just making sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Christopher.
I hear you.
Awesome. So, my name is Christopher Powell. I am the CTO of my startup called Project Pi. And Project Pi is a node or computer infrastructure, blockchain node or blockchain computer infrastructure company and liquid staking protocol. It is a type of DeFi platform that Jill mentioned in one of the sections where it talked about stable coins all the way through LP as well as other DeFi plays. My startup started as well, actually a little bit about myself. So I actually am a physicist. I actually studied physics at Georgia State University back in my hometown. Well, yeah, my hometown. And how I actually got into blockchain, it was not related to physics per se. I actually was studying it at the same time. Um, I actually ended up finding out about it while I was in college, and I fell into the rabbit hole. I loved it, And I didn't, after I graduated, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do with my physics degree, but I knew that I knew enough about blockchain at that point that I could find something and or do something. So I started to learn about blockchain node infrastructure, and I understood that it was very important for um, companies and blockchains to have these computers running, because without them, blockchains run pretty sluggish and inefficient. So that led me on to help communities in different blockchains. Right, I wrote different guides. I wrote different just little things here and there to help people with their blockchain computers. And that actually led me to land a job from a company that's based in Dubai named Go Plugin. I did work with them for about almost 2 years. And then I actually left them and I started my own project. And so, Project Pi, we started with Raspberry Pis. That's where the name comes from. And we just built from there. But right now, we're actually on testnet. We actually are finalizing testnet. Um, we've been on testnet for maybe about 5 or 6 months, but we've um, been audited quite a few times. My startup is actually one of the few startups that um, is able to go to DC with Coinbase to talk about the importance of blockchain and crypto. It's called Stand with Crypto. And I've been to DC last September and this year back in July, and was able to talk to some senators uh, out in Washington, D.C. And so if I launch my app, you can see here the basically the front page. Essentially, kind of just giving a story, just a little story. Um, you know, a lot of the times with blockchains, they have, especially proof of stake blockchains. There are different types, but we work with proof of stake blockchains. Um, they have what is called validators, which basically helps with what the name implies. It validates transactions, and it also makes sure and ensures that the blockchain is running efficiently. So people can actually transact across, peer to peer, and every time a transaction is happening, some of the fees are actually from the blockchain are actually distributed to these little computers. And so my protocol allows for people to run these little computers and earn some of the fees that are generated. Over time, when the network activity and the simply just the price increases, it gets harder to run these computers. For example, with Ethereum, you need 32 Ethereum to make a validator. That's roughly a million, more than $1 million right now. So platforms like mine allows for people to come and they are able to put up half the amount that you normally need, plus a little bit of their collateral token. And so, for example, if I go to Liquid Stake, this is the first part. This allows me to deposit my assets, and I actually receive a derivative back that I can use um, for other DeFi platforms, as well as if I don't want to go to other DeFi platforms and I just want to simply hold it, then I'm actually able to earn a little yield from it. So on testnet, my platform would be allowing people to earn about 3.11% APY, or annual percentage yield. Um, the exchange rate, it says one pulse is equal to 0.9968 or 6829 ST pulse. Again, we're on testnet, so there are about 18 stakers right now, with the total amount is 257 million. And the reward period for testnet, I set it as 1 day. On mainnet, this will actually be 14 days. So if I were to actually stake, let's say 100,000 pulse, it's saying that I would receive 99,682 ST pulse, but that simply just means that the strength of ST pulse is greater than pulse. And so if I were to deposit the pulse and confirm, then my balance should actually be reflected, which it has. So now I have a little bit more than what I've had before. The next thing that I can actually talk about with my protocol is NFT stake. And so let me actually refresh my screen. There we go. So NFT stake. And what this is actually pretty awesome. My protocol is actually the first in the world to offer this type of utility with a liquid staking protocol. Essentially, what I've done with the collateral token named PPY is I allowed for the token to be merged or married to an NFT. The protocol is called ERC-404. And so this means that if I have a certain amount of tokens, which I set it as every 100,000 tokens, then I would have an NFT. So PPY, or Project Pi Yield, is the company or the actual protocol's token, and I have 290,000 PPY, and I have one NFT staked. So in total, I have 390,000 PPY. But if I click NFT stake, it shows me that I have two NFTs because one NFT is equal to 100,000 PPY. And so if I were to stake an NFT like I'm doing now, I would be earning the fees that are generated from when people unstake from liquid staking. I set it up to where people that own the NFT would be able to earn the fees generated from my platform. And so this in itself is, very new. This is the first time to have incorporate the ERC-404 standard into liquid staking. But right now, I'm going to go to analytics before I hand it back to Joe. The analytics platform, you're basically able to see everything that's going on my platform. And so you see the total pulse and protocol over time. If I go to liquid staking, then you can see the 18 total stakers with the APY and the last rewards that have came into the system. You have the historical exchange rate as well as the current exchange rate. You also have Pi pools, which are the actual validators that are utilizing the system. And so far on testnet, there are 11 people that actually have been either using the platform or are currently using it. As well as if I go to the TPPY, this is the collateral token. This basically gives some of the metrics related. So the next reward cycle would start in 3 days. The total current supply. Total current supply also is on this chart as the glowing dot. And this gives basically the trend of the token inflating over time, but just a little bit of deflationary effects as well. We have the fees, which is just the fees when withdrawing or redeeming. There are other fees here and there, but this is the main one. And then we have the early stakers, which this was our pre-seed offering. So we allowed, before I even built out anything related to the protocol, allow for people to earn the PPY token for free simply by just staking their pulse actually on mainnet. And we had a total of 158 early stakers, and so they will be rewarded for it. Now, the people that unstaked during the process, they actually burned some of the PPY token. So that means in total, there will be 23 NFTs left. In total, there's going to be 3,140 of these NFTs, minus the 23. So 3,117 when we go on mainnet. And the last tab, um, as far as data, is the total NFT staked and the total rewards pool. So people are already participating within the NFT staking ecosystem on testnet. And then we have our About Us, in which it just shows the max supply, token allocation, and all the links that you can find us at. And so let me go back to here. Okay, I'll stop share. And so, you know, Project Pi in itself and everything we've built is a true DeFi platform. Is decentralized. You could connect your MetaMask and use it right on from the go. There's no entry to barrier. You can liquid stake on my platform for as low as one pulse, which is a fraction of a penny. So if you want to test out the platform on testnet or mainnet once we're actually live, then you can do so. But it's been a process, and I'm super excited for what we have going on, and can't wait for some people to try it out.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you so much for your precious time, Christopher. He explained the Project Pi very well. He is the co-founder of Project Pi, blockchain educator. He has an extensive experience teaching classes on topics such as blockchain, crypto, nodes, and NFTs. He is highly passionate about providing insights and awareness to the other while learning new information for himself. Thank you, Christopher. Now moving for the next guest.
Yeah. So let me share my own screen, Lishu.
Okay, let me introduce you. Now moving for the next guest is M.Ahmed. He is expertise in full stack development, EVM and Hyperledger fabrics, a mentor at Empeer community and an advocate for infrastructures and emerging technologies, passionate about basketball, football, video games, and anime. Currently contributing as full stack engineering at TechRio Digital. Thank you. Move.
Okay, thank you, Lishpa. And thank you so much, Christopher and Joe. It was very informative. We have some questions. I have basically some questions for Pi that I will also be like discussing in the QA section as well. So basically, myself, I'm just a tech evangelist. I love to talk about new technologies and infrastructure. So I have bit of experience in EVM and Hyperledger Fabric. And today we will be doing a hands-on demo on creating a React app with a wallet connect button. So some of the prerequisite for this is that you must have installed Node.js on your system. We will be using Yarn. You can use npm as well, but Yarn, I prefer Yarn as well, and little bit of React knowledge to get started. So uh, for those who have joined through the link, you can scan the QR code. This will be pointing to the GitHub repo for the starting repo. So we can continue from that. I will just keep the screen here for next 5 to 10 seconds. Also, the repo will also be shared in the WhatsApp and Discord group as well. So you can continue from there as well. So now let's move to the repo. Yep. So basically, this is the complete deployed version of that application that we will be creating today. So what we have is just a connect wallet connect button. When we press on this, it will ask you for wallets that you can use. We will be using this third web connect, you can say component. And when we use, let's say we want to connect to our MetaMask, it will ask for our account. When we authorize this and confirm, our account would be shown over here, as well as the amount that we have currently. And also we can also show this on our own customized place as well. And also we have also a lot of options, like we can change the networks, we can also switch account, disconnect the wallet, and sort of those things. So let's start. Before starting this, I had some feedback from the last webinar regarding the some people trying to use MetaMask and unable to do so. So we will be like connecting our MetaMask extension over here. So you need to just go to Google, search for MetaMask, and there you would get the Chrome extension. This will also work in Brave or any other Chromium based browsers as well. So you will just add this to Chrome. Let's wait for it to complete. Now it's installed. So basically this is the first page of MetaMask. We just agree to the MetaMask, and we can also use any existing wallet, but for now let's create a new wallet. I can agree to improve the MetaMask. This will be the password that you will use to log in into the wallet. So let me set up a password. And you cannot recover this password. This have to be, you always have to ensure that you have copied this somewhere, or you remember this. Then this is the thing that we were talking about in the last time, that the private key. So nowadays the private key is also used as the 12 word phrase. So we can also uh, secure that wallet right now, or due to shortage of time we will be skipping that. So now the MetaMask wallet is created, and you can have one account by default over here. And if we want to go to any website, let's say Project Pi, so you can now connect your wallet through this. So this is your wallet. So now let's start with the project actual development side. Let me close all of this stuff. So when you go to this repo, you will find two branches, the main and the completed. We will be starting with the main branch. This has all the basic code scaffolded. This has a basic React app made in TypeScript, as well as Tailwind configured in it. So we will be just cloning this one. I hope everyone have a bit of idea of how Git works. If anyone have any issue, You can also reach out on WhatsApp or Discord as well. So we will be going to any folder in our system, and in that we will be just running this command git clone and paste that command, the link that we copied. Once we clone this, we will have this folder created, this one, and now we can open this with our own any editor. I will be using VS Code. Now the first we need to install all of the dependencies for this project, so we will be installing that using yarn. So all of these instructions are also available on this readme file as well. So you go to the clone and then you yarn install, and then we need to let's run for project first, npm run dev, or you can use yarn run dev. So once you run this project, you will have a website on this URL, localhost 5173. Now this is the basic app that is like scaffolded. So this has just a heading and a simple text and a button that toggles this dark mode or light mode. So we are going to start with this is that we need to install the dependencies for the third web. Uh, Dependencies are, you can say, just an additional, you can say, packages or functionalities that we can extend to this one. Those who have idea of React would have like better understanding of this. So if we go to our GitHub and copy these are the packages. We will be using the third web dev React and the third web dev SDK, as well as the ethers library. So you can also, let's add this using yarn add. This would probably take a bit of while, as these are a bunch of big packages. So apart from this, if we go to the documentation, we also need to install these things, the white plugin node polyfills. So whenever you're working with blockchain, you would need to understand that in the browser there are a lot of packages that do not work, like the crypto package or things like that. So for these packages we need to have the node polyfills. These are just like the libraries that are in the node but also ported to the web as well, to the browser as well. So let's copy this as well. Once this is completed, we can now install those libraries as well. So once this is done, we can now go into configuring this white config file. So I have used white to set up this project, so that's why using the white plugin. So we just need to copy this node polyfills, go into the white config, import the node polyfills, and next we need to define this plugin. Let's add this plugin as. So just for better, we can also use the process.env. This is used for the env processes. If you have worked with Node, you would have any idea. So once this is set up, now our third web SDK is set up. Just for confirmation, we'll just again run the server, see if anything is breaking or not. So let's run this. So nothing is breaking, everything's working fine. So now let's move on to the actual development part. This is just the configuration section. So what we have to do is that if some of you have worked with Context API or Redux, you would have a bit of knowledge that we have to provide our app that okay, it can use these hooks, or you can say context. We need to provide some context to the application that we can use. So we can wrap this third web provider to our app or the part of our section that is Web3 enabled. So we will just copy this, as we are this a very basic app, so we will be wrapping this up in the main.tsx, as the whole app would be the web3 enabled. So let's move to the src main.tsx and just wrap this app part in that. First import this. Let me copy this. Now we will be wrapping this app part in the third web provider. Now there are bunch of configuration that we can do for this. So just for one configuration we can do is that we can set the active chain. The active chain could be anything. Let's say we have in the documentation use Ethereum. So let's add the Ethereum. Now again we go to our app and refresh and see nothing is breaking. Next, what we want is that we want a button over here. We want some button over here that can be used to connect to the blockchain. So for that, we are just in the main app.tsx to make this as quick as possible. What we need to do is just the third web makes this amazingly easy. Before we used to have a lot of code just to connect the wallet, but now we can just use this component made by third web to easily make this quick. So first we import this component. I don't know why my control is not working properly today. Yeah. So we have copied this import. Now what we need to do is just where we want our app, we just use this component. So without any configuration, let's just add the component. So you see we have a basic component, a basic button over here. When we click on this, automatically the pop-up shows up to connect, allow us to connect, choose our wallet. We choose MetaMask, and it's easy as that. The request has come to our MetaMask. We confirm, approve. Our MetaMask wallet is connected over here, and this is just as easy as this. You can do this. Change our. We can change to base. So it will ask us that we want to change our connection network. Okay. Now we switch our network, and we have connected to base. So in the MetaMask, we have now changed our network to base. Now, apart from this, we have this is not just a component. This is also highly customizable component. Now, let's see, we have light mode and dark mode, but the component remains same. So for this, third web has just quite an easy, argument, or you can say parameter prop in React we say. So that is the theme prop. So for theme, we can add the dark theme. So the another thing that I use TypeScript for this project is that TypeScript provides us a lot of intelligence. We can just add the string, and it provides that we have these two options, dark and light. So let's say we use dark. So it by default it is dark, and let's say we use light. Now this component is light. So we also have set up a use state that defines our the page. So we can do this dark mode. If it is our dark mode, then show this component in dark, else show this component in light. So now this component is light. As we enable dark mode, this component is in dark mode. So this is the basic gist. Now we can also if we go to the bottom of this, we have the whole documentation of third web React SDK over here. If you open this, you will get to this link. I have all copies these things from the actual documentation and put them in the repo. So we can also, if you are using in Next.js project, you can follow this. If you are using create React app, you can use this. And then there's also their own method of creating a template React app, so you can use this one as well. This is the same. We have used the active change Ethereum client ID if you want to do something specific to third web. And then they have used this web3 button, and what we have done is that we have used components and connect wallet. We have used this one. So there also are, you can see, supported wallets. Now as we are connecting this wallet, it gives us a bunch of different wallets to connect to. But what we can do is that we can restrict these wallet. So let's go to this main.tsx. In this third web provider, we want to allow specific wallets to connect to our application. So we'll provide the supported wallets, and in these wallets we will be providing a list of our wallets. So let's say we want to get so before moving forward, we need to ensure these are wallets that are imported from third web React. Or if we go to provider and we go to the supported wallets, so this will show you that we can use a bunch of wallets over here, like connect wallet, MetaMask wallet, Coinbase wallet, or wallet, and these are imported from there. So this is a function, not like a keyword. So we will be adding MetaMask wallet from the React Web Dev. So we just add one, and if we go to our application, connect wallet, so it automatically just connects to the MetaMask. If we disconnect this, also disconnect from over here, connect wallet, so it is always going to ask for MetaMask. Okay, so we can also add one more wallet. Let's say we add Coinbase. Let's disconnect this. So now we have got two options, the MetaMask and the Coinbase wallet. The Coinbase wallet we can scan from our mobile as well and connect that Coinbase wallet as well. So that is the basic gist of the today's demo and hands-on. If anyone have any questions, I don't see any. So we also have a Q&A session next. So over to you, Alishba.
Thank you so much, Ahmed. This was a very nice meeting to you. We now open the floor for the question answer session. Feel free to ask any questions, share your thoughts, and seek clarifications on the topics discussed. This is a great opportunity to deepen your understanding and engage in meaningful discussion. Let's hear your questions.
There's one question in the chat. I'm new to Web3. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, Joe, do you want to take this or should I continue?
Yeah, I can answer it real quick.
Yeah.
So last week, Ahmed introduced Web 1, 2, and 3, right? So quickly to recap what Ahmed mentioned last week, Web 1 was really the introduction of the internet to us as a read interface. So you can read the internet right? And people would be able to get certain domains at which, or they could host them themselves, at which they could launch sites that people could read. But then Web 2, which is where we're at today, right? Moving into Web 3, but Web 2 still primarily. Web 2 was the introduction of forums where you could write to the internet, and then you had a lot of social apps that took advantage of that, where people were able to share pictures or share data about themselves, and that opened the door for more engagement on the internet, e-commerce, and that's so Web 2. Now we're moving into Web 3, where the ownership of the data is decentralized as opposed to centralized as it was in Web 2, right into the central entities. Now where it's going to be more decentralized, in which you own your assets, and that's going to be tokenized via the blockchain.
Yeah, explained very well. I hope you got the point. I guess Sahibzada Ahmed, I guess. Sure. Now I can take the next question. How do on-chain wallets different from traditional wallets? So yeah, we have like a discussion with Joe as well on the on-chain wallets as well. So basically, the traditional wallets are like you hold the wallets and everything you do is like need authorization from you. Once you do that authorization, it will then go through. The on-chain wallets are like you can say a smart contract or you can say autonomous wallets. So you have some predefined logic on that wallet, and let's say we have a company and there's a we can create a wallet for a company. It is also known as multi-signature wallet. We can create a wallet for a company, and that 2% of let's say there are 3% owner of that company. So we only want to transact when at least two of the person have authorized that transaction. So we can create that multi-signature wallet that whenever a transaction is sent, it requires a signature from at least 2% to commit that transaction. So this is just a part of one aspect of on-chain wallets. There are a lot of utilities on on-chain wallets as well. I hope that would be understood. Yeah, and yeah, I had got question for Christopher. So you were mentioning the usage of the name of your project Pi started from Raspberry Pi. So is there like an actual correlation with the Raspberry Pi, or like the chain, are the nodes lightweight that we can run them on Raspberry Pi?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So when we first started, yes, me and my co-founder, we started with the Raspberry Pis. There are some lightweight blockchains and companies, blockchain-based companies, where you can actually run nodes on. So we started with um, a company named Presearch. They are a search engine browser, similar to like Yahoo and Bing and Google, but they're on the blockchain, and their nodes are pretty lightweight. You can actually, I know you're familiar with the Raspberry Pis. You can connect more storage to it and actually run a Bitcoin node on there. I haven't actually gotten to do that, but we started with the Raspberry Pis, and then we transitioned to mini computers, but we kept the name Project Pi.
Yeah, that would be great because nowadays there's also a trend of IoT and smart homes. So everybody have a Raspberry Pi lying around somewhere. So that would be great if everyone can tap into the blockchain, and you know, mm, the more the validators, the more the nodes there are, the decentralized the blockchain is.
No, for sure. I'm actually, well, it's kind of hard to see, but behind me, I actually am running a node on a Raspberry Pi. So, yeah, it's super cool. I've been running this one for about 3 or 4 years now, and everything's been running smoothly.
Yeah, great. Yeah. So Joe, do
I
you want to
have
take this
a
one?
quick question for Chris, and then I'll take that. What happens when
Sorry, Joe, your mic got muted.
I got muted? For question for Chris, what happens when the power goes out? Does it work? I'm just asking for the noobs in the room. How does that work?
Yeah, so if the power goes out, depending on how because it's all code, I had to add some extra code into my node to have this program named Docker to continue running. So some nodes, if they power off, you have to manually go in and reinstall everything. Some you can just have it to where if the power goes out or the Wi-Fi goes out, um, once it comes back, then it can start right back up automatically.
Got it. Awesome. And then I see we have a question. How did NFTs got introduced? So, we go back to with the introduction of Ethereum, right? Ethereum brought smart contracts into play, and a number of contract types that they bought. Chris mentioned ERC 404, right, which is more of the newer contract, but there were previously, before that, NFTs or tokens that range from ERC 20s, which are fungible tokens, right? These are tokens that are transferable, much like uh, currency, right? That means that they're fungible in nature. And then there are ERC 721s, which are referred to your NFTs, and your ERC 1155s and 721s are your NFT contracts. And these refer to more unique in nature items that are multi-attributed, and they're transferable, and they can be minted on the blockchain as unique items.
Mm. So I have got another question. How can we earn from this? So I'll answer this in like a political way. So basically, there are three ways, three streams that you can go through in this. So the first stream is that I am that like pursuing, and that you can go into the development part and be a developer in blockchain. And then the second stream is like the Christopher and Joe are pursuing. You can create a utility around that blockchain and provide benefit to those like who can create a business out of this. And then the third stream is like you can be a trader on the blockchain. You can move things from one to, you can buy from one place, sell to another, and things like that. So there's a whole ecosystem. There are like huge opportunities. You will just have to explore into this, what connects to your mind. Joe, if you're saying anything, your mic's muted.
No, I was can we restrict a chain? What does that mean?
Can we restrict? I guess. Are you talking about the wallet connect? Uh, if we are talking about wallet connect, yes, we can restrict the chain. In the third web documentation, like the active chain that we started at the start, we were using Ethereum. We can also like provide an argument in that there's a like supported chains. There's like supported wallets. There's also supported chain, and supported chain we can restrict which chains do we want to connect to our application.
I think there is one question that is missed in the chat. How did the NFTs got introduced? Um, can you elaborate that question, Abdullah, or like
Uh,
any of the hosts if you want to take it over? Yeah.
yeah,
I answered that one already, but I see a question for Chris.
Yes, I see it. It says, I have
Okay.
questions for Christopher. What benefits does the Pi blockchain provide? So I'll answer that one first. Project Pi in itself is not necessarily a blockchain. It's a decentralized finance platform or DeFi platform. Um, Funny enough, me and my co-founder, we have thought of eventually going down that line of creating a blockchain in the far future, but of course, we have to take it step by step with what we're providing right now. But as far as the benefits that it provides, it is decentralized finance. So you're able to, any time of the day or night, you can still use the platform. Um, and then the other questions, how it overcomes other projects. Um, that one's a little harder to answer. I can do my best though. So, how am interpreting your question is, you know, our protocol is quite a mixture. It is mixing decentralized finance with blockchain node infrastructure, and now with NFTs. Um, just because of the actual token being an NFT as well. And so, but the main core piece of it is blockchain infrastructure. And I can't say it necessarily overtakes or it triumphs over other decentralized protocols, but I can say that it plays a really big part because without these computers running, the blockchain in itself can run pretty slow and sluggish. And so I feel like our protocol is very pivotal when it comes to blockchain technology. When is it going to launch? Well, we actually are auditing our smart contracts right now. It's been, I think, about 6 or 7 days. Probably you're going to hear back from the auditors within the next 2 or 3. But this is very important because there were quite a bit of smart contracts that I had to use to actually build this protocol out. As simple as it looks on the front end, there is at least 16 or 17 different smart contracts that I had to go through over the course of 6 or 7 months to like actually get all this running. It took a lot of math. It took a lot of calculating the APY and all sorts of stuff. So the auditors have to go through all my work, make sure everything's good. I did get a report back, a small message back from them 2 days ago saying that all the contracts except for two were actually really good. The other two, they're just going to be looking over it some more. But it's the tokens, the ERC 404 is very new. So that one's going to more than likely take the longest.
Okay, Christopher, I have a question. Okay, I am from psychology department. Here I have a question. How you think like psychologically, how different people of group or in different cultures react to the Web3 or not? Now there is any significant impact on USA elections?
Yeah. So how I interpret your question is, the U.S. in itself with the elections, and now that it's over, you know, it's a lot of controversy within the elections and the participants that are you know who were nominated. There were a lot of divide in the country, even in crypto. There are a lot of people that, like in Congress, that were opposed to it heavy. And there are a lot that are actually, they favor it. They want it. And when I went to DC to talk to some of these senators, um, I talked more towards the Democrats just this past July. A lot of them did not know what was going on, and so they just needed more education around it. But some were very standoffish, so they didn't really want to hear anything about blockchain or crypto or even the innovation side of it. But seeing that uh, now everything is more Republican based. A lot of them actually are for cryptocurrencies. In my opinion, I do see that being a good sign for this technology in the states, and I think that by having this technology flourish in the actual country, it'll allow for more countries to see what the US is doing with this technology. And I believe that innovation would flourish in this, around the world with this technology. A little bit much more easier than what it was for the last years that this technology has like started to blossom.
I can add more. I would like to add more too. From a psychology standpoint, I think you already see what's the effects of everything that Chris is talking about, right? People have felt like the market, as soon as they decided the president of the United States, the market has become safer, right? Has felt safer. And the price of Bitcoin has already skyrocketed up 20,000 since the election, almost close to 100K, right? 2 weeks removed from the election, right? So there's a lot of perceived, from a psychology standpoint, there's a lot of perceived opportunity that is looking to happen now in this space, which makes people like, especially here in the United States, makes people like myself and Chris happy about the opportunity to build in a safe ecosystem.
Mhm.
I think, Alishka, your mic is mute.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
now you can hear.
I unmute my mic. Okay. We are exciting to enhance our engagement through the dedicated platforms. Join our Discord group for in-depth discussions, Q&A sessions, and presentations. It's a space to learn, share, and collaborate. Additionally, stay connected on the go with our WhatsApp community group where you can receive the updates, share ideas, and network with like-minded individual. Let's build a thriving community together. So this is the end of the session. Wrap it up. Thanks all the sharing guests. This is the third webinar, Introduction to the Smart Context and Building on Chain Solution, which will held on 7th December 2024. Thank you so much.